Alright, so I'm going to open displacement intro. This is those files been provided with this training, so we guys can do much faster results and see what we get. So we have this box here, which is very sharp, doesn't have a lot of subdivisions. So let me show you how we can get this box subdivided by using VRay displacement mode. So I'm going to apply the VRay displacement modifier to the box, and let me start the interactive render here. You can see that the displacement kind of broke some stuff here. So let's put it into subdivision, and voila, you can see already that this box is subdivided much nicer, very smooth, works very much like turbo smooth. Now, in order to see this better, let me open my material editor, and in this texture we have also something that's called self-illumination. So let's enable this map, and this one got VRay edges texture. So we don't see, because there's a lot of subdivisions going on and the self-illumination just takes over. But if we scroll down here to maximum subdivisions, let's put 1 and see what's going on. Right, so the higher we go, the better subdivision we get by using the subdivision option. Okay, so this is how the subdivision function works. It just makes the object look much smoother, and we can control the amount of subdivisions this box is getting. So again, the more we add, the smoother our box becomes. Okay, I'm gonna stop this and move to the next example. I'm gonna get that map here, and you can see it's got a little bit different subdivisions here and there going on, but it's gonna help us to understand better how the stuff works. So first I'm gonna put this into 3D mapping, and I'm gonna drag and drop this map of circles into, let me show you just this map. This is how it looks. It's a gradient, it's a circle, but it's got tiling of 8 and 8. But we can see that after applying this, we've got nice bumps going on here. I'm going to stop this render and play with the edge amount. You can see very rough edges. I'm gonna stop it, and if we put it on 1, much smoother everywhere. Even though the geometry here wasn't great, we get very smooth edges. Alright, so this is the amount of edge length. Let's switch this to 2D mapping and hit render. Pretty smooth. Now if we lower this resolution, let's put 24, you can see very rough, and if we put it to 1024, it's gonna be very clean. So basically it's the same thing that we did with the 3D by using the edge parameter here. With the 2D we can get the same results by using the resolution. Okay, so we can see pretty clear and clean geometry here. Now let's increase the amount to 10, see how this works. And we can also go into minus. You can see it cuts through the object. And let's bring it back to about 2. And let's play with the shift. Let's put the shift on 10. So you can see it moves, it actually shifts the object either up or down. You can put also -10. Alright, so no change on the amount or the height of the bound, is just shifting and moving the displacement around. Now let's check out the water level. I'm gonna apply this. If we click, so let's increase the water level to about 4. Whoop, moved completely. So the charge needs to be much smaller. So let's put 0.2. Alright, so that's the water level that cuts through the object. And you can see we removed, and if we put 0.7, kind of remove the surface from it. So the closer it is to 1, to 0, the less we have of it, and the closer it is to 1, the higher it goes, the lower the water level will be. You can see we just get the tips of our circles here, because the amount is 2 and the water level is 1.8, so we get that 0.2 what's left from our object. Now I'm going to open water level example here. It's another cool scene that was provided by Chaos Group. So here, as you can see here, we got those cool chairs. I click P and Z, and we can cut through. You can see we have those lines, so we can actually cut through those chairs and create really cool geometry without actually losing time for modeling this. Now I'm gonna click on the render here, and if I disable the displacement, let me just close this eye so you see how this stuff works without displacement. So this is how it looks, and when we add displacement we get those nice cool bumps, ribs of this chair coming up. Now we can cut through by enabling water level, and setting this, I think 0.01 will be good enough to cut through that object. Yep. So here you go, guys. The use of water level in order to create really cool looking geometry with cuts through. I saw examples of forks, really nice classic old-fashioned fork with a lot of detail, and the cuts through the fork, of course, were made with the water level functionality. Right, so that's a cool example of how you can do it. Now let's open another scene, and I'm going to open my material editor here. First we're gonna use this map for that gravel here. It's already been applied as a texture to this guy, you can see. And now let's add displacement, and into the displacement let's put this instance, and let's hit render. I'm gonna stop this, and let's add amount of 7, and I'm gonna do a region, right here because I want to save some time. And let's click render, see how this stuff looks. So that's exactly what I was talking about. You can see you can apply displacement mode and you will get those holes kind of shifting up from those bumps. So what we can do is we can use our shift. Gonna stop this and use our shift. Let's use -4. See how this works. Now here we go. We lowered our mesh and now it's inside the pot, so we don't get anything sticking out, no holes, which is a cool option to fix those type of failures. Okay, now I'm going to close this and actually add a new displacement mode to that object, and we're going to use something that's got more detail. This map, as you can see here, it also goes into negative because it's 32-bit channel. Images of EXR, HDR, they have a pixel depth that displacement mode can read. So let's drag and drop it here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it up for 1.5 and click render. And we have to switch this from 2D to 3D because that's a 3D map. It's a procedural map. Now let's click render and see how this works. And actually I'm going to use texture minimum and maximum parameters because I want to have a nice round edges. So minimum is going to be -3 and text map is going to be 3. Alright, now let's click render, see how this stuff works. There we go, a much better displacement, and you can see how the stuff is working out like real stones. Of course with JPEGs we had a little bit different results, so I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna use my frame buffer to save that so we can compare. Now let's switch to the other displacement mode, which was done only with the 2D map, and let's click render, so see how this stuff works. And now we can save both of them and compare. So I'm gonna stop this also, save it, and now let's load this into B and let's load this into A, and now we can compare. So you can see how nice those stones working together with the OpenXR, which is procedural and it's got negative values, and actually almost wraps the stone around in order to create this nice fine looking geometry. Okay, so for the final render here, I'm going to open my render dialog, go to global switches and disconnect override material. And now we can click render and see how those rocks being rendered. Alright guys, so this is how you work with displacement, and you can create really cool geometry by using different maps. Of course, HDRI map is going to be with more pixel depth, so it's going to provide you much better and accurate displacement. But as you can see here, this stuff works pretty good and we're getting really nice results. You can see how the displacement works on a tree. So thanks to this option in VRay, we can get really detailed with the macro detail inside, really cool geometry. Okay, so go ahead, watch the next tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.